Hello everyone and welcome to this presentation and training on the rights of the child. My name is Annabel and I am second in charge at the Harborview Children's Center at Seaforth. This training will be provided in 3 short sprints of 10 minutes each. In the first session, we will focus on one right in particular, participation rights. In the second session, we will reflect on protection rights, and in the final session, we will consider provision rights. Let's now move on to session 1. In the first session of our training today, we will cover 3 aspects. Firstly, we will begin by taking a brief look at the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child. Secondly, we will examine the right of each child to participate. Here, we will focus on what Article 12 of the UNCRC says, why this right is important, traditional perception and beliefs that we as adults hold that hinders or weakens the ability of each child to exercise his right, different ways in which we as educators can implement Article 12 in practice, dealing with diversity, and how we as educators can ensure the right to participate is provided with equity to each child. Finally, we will look at how we as educators can advocate rights. The United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child is a treaty formulated by the UN to protect the rights of the child. This treaty was ratified in 1989 and became the most rapidly and widely ratified international human rights treaty in history. A noteworthy impact of UNCRC is that it cemented the acknowledgement that children are human beings with a distinct set of rights and not passive objects of care and charity. The rights of the child constituted by UNCRC can be grouped under 3 P's. Provision, the right to survive and holistically develop to the full potential. Protection, the right to be protected from any harm or danger. Participation, the right to express their opinion, actively engage in all decisions that affect them. We begin this training by focusing on participation rights because participation is the keystone of the arc that is UNCRC. Without the active participation of children and young people in the promotion of their rights to a good childhood, none of the other rights will be effectively achieved. Let's consider one example of how the right to participate helps children to realize their right to protection. Children can be protected from abuse and violence only if they are empowered and encouraged to voice their concerns to people in authority. If a child treated like her opinion does not matter, the child will most likely remain silent, and this results in a situation where the abuser and not the child is protected. What does right to participation entail? Article 12 of the UNCRC states that state parties shall assure to the child who is capable of forming his or her own views the right to express those views freely in all matters affecting the child, the views of the child being given due weight in accordance with the age and maturity of the child. Participation can be defined as an ongoing process of children's expression and active involvement in decision making at different levels in matters that concerns them. It requires information sharing and dialogue between children, adults, based on mutual respect, and requires that full consideration of their views be given, taking into account the child's age and maturity. Few practical examples of matters affecting that child we encounter as educators are decisions related to physical care, nappy changing, toileting, sleeping, eating, Decisions related to playing, do a quiet activity or physically active activity, play alone or in a group. The decision related to learning experiences, choose topics or themes that are of interest to them and in line with their level of competence. Further examples of matters affecting the child in the family sphere and schooling sphere are decision relating to family rules, time for bed, morning routines, homework, family work, a decision on how to meet the needs of others, should they attend a special unit or not, decisions on how the school should respond to in bullying, decision on disciplinary policies of school, recruitment of staff. Though UNCRC recognizes that the right to participate is a fundamental right for each child, adults and educators show considerable resistance to realize this right. For many children across the world, and especially for children from marginalized or minority groups, the opportunity to exercise this right remains elusive, and adults end up creating processes that give the appearance of implementing rights but fail to realize rights in practice. But why does this resistance to include children in decision-making process exist? A significant stumbling block can be traced to the prejudiced views that adults have about the abilities of children. Traditional views perceive children as weak and passive. These views hold that children are not citizens now, but are citizens in the making. Many adults believe that children lack capacity to make meaningful contribution to the decision-making process. Such perception that children are weak, powerful, and lack the competencies that adults possess lead to an intervention approach where adults unilaterally take decisions on matters concerning children and exclude children from agency and participation. How can we overcome these challenges? Examine our own prejudices. We must remember that the perceptions and beliefs we educators have about children inform and impact our behavior and intervention approach towards children. Hence, it is important for us as educators to examine our perceptions and prejudices and recalibrate our beliefs. Invest time to educate and update yourselves on contemporary views and research. Research challenges traditional beliefs, and contemporary views sees children as social actors with participatory rights in matters affecting them. Social cultural theories state that children are citizens now and therefore must be given the right to express their opinion through dialogues with adults in a respectful atmosphere. Ample evidence from research in neuroscience shows that children are not incompetent, but are intelligent, capable, and are endowed with the ability to communicate even from a very young age. Combat fears arising from misconceptions on UNCRCs. When the UNCRCs mandates that due weight must be given to opinion of each child, it must not be interpreted to mean more weight must be given and adults must do what children want them to do. Article 12 does not mean children must be allowed to do what they want to do. Rather, it only mandates that children are respected and given the right to participate in discussion about matters concerning them. Research reassures adults that what children want above all is the opportunity to take part. After we recalibrate our beliefs through education and rights information and reaffirm our commitment to uphold the right of each child to participate, the next step is to help children to realize their rights. And we cannot do this unless we recognize diversity. Diversity in the early years setting in Australia is a growing reality. Given that such diversity is not an exception, but the norm UNCRC mandates, that educators must respect and ensure the rights of each child without discrimination of any kind, irrespective of the child's or his or her parents or legal guardians, race, color, sex, language, religion, political or other opinion, national, ethnic or social origin, property, disability, birth or other status. An important key to implementing rights within the context of diversity is to appreciate that UNCRC is about the rights of the child and not rights of children. This implies we must not recognize that children are not a homogeneous group, and accordingly we must adopt individualized and differentiated approaches to meaningfully empower children with the rights to participate. Here are some practical ways in which educators can make children feel included and empowered to participate in the face of diversity. Take into account diversity when assessing the strengths, ability, and needs of each child. As educators, we must partner with families and carers and incorporate the wealth of information they have on children when doing individualized assessment. Remove barriers to participation for children with additional needs. Two practical ways to do this are: consider physical and mobility needs of each child when planning environment. We can adapt educational programs according to the competency levels of each child to ensure that each child can participate actively even if they cannot participate fully. Value first language of each child in the childcare setting and promote the use of home language at home. Incorporate Aboriginal perspectives in curriculum by interacting with Aboriginal communities and recognizing the role of elders. Learn about the different cultural and social context of each child by engaging with families and include this into programming and planning. The term advocacy refers to the voice on behalf of children. Advocacy is about taking actions to protect the rights of the children. As early childhood educators, you can advocate for the participation rights of the children in many ways. You can start in your own childcare center. We can create awareness on promoting children as active participants in the decision making by listening to children, considering their opinion, and acting in the best interests of the child. Advocacy involving families and communities can be done through informal ways by writing emails, through brochures, Twitter, Facebook, having seminars. Further, we can invite the community to the center to showcase that children are intelligent and capable and reinforce the message that children should have the right to express their views in any form of expression. At macro level, we can join peak bodies for early childhood sectors which have strong evidence-based approach in matters concerning advocacy work. Educators can be a part of organizations which contribute to public policy debates in areas affecting children. So, let me summarize the key points as call to action. Let us believe and affirm that each child is a citizen now with a distinct set of rights. Let us believe and affirm that each child has a right to participate in the decision-making process in all matters concerning them. Let us translate this belief into practice by helping each child realize his right by recognizing that each child is unique. And finally, let us become advocates for the rights of the child at our homes, in our daycare centers, and promote the rights of the child within families and communities. Each one of you can make a difference to each child entrusted to your care. Let's do it.